We are here at the Veterans Memorial Park at College of the Ozarks, and this is the tales of Mountain Creek Ranch. This Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch kind of makes my heart very reverent walking here at College of the Ozarks at Veterans Park. And the connection that I make so much to this park and what we do at the ranch is the amazing history of what happened after World War II when our soldiers came home. So many of our soldiers came home from World War II, the greatest generation, to start their lives again. And it was the GI Bill that allowed so many of them to come home and either return to the family farm or ranch, or buy a new one and start their own family traditions of being farmers and ranchers. The GI Bill allowed soldiers to come home, and loan guarantees allowed them to purchase tractors and equipment to start farms. It actually allowed them to have the money to buy farms and to actually go back and reclaim farms that had been rolled over because of lack of payments and things during the war. In one state alone, the state of Mississippi, which was incredibly normal and very similar to a lot of other states in the United States, GIs came home with the GI Bill and bought over 10,000 farms, many of which are still alive today, and some of those turned into the ranches we know throughout Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri, thanks to that GI Bill. Let's take a quick break and shout out to our sponsor. Are you making an impact? Do you want your money to be doing more for those you love? For the world around you? At TrueNorth Wealth and Impact, designing purpose-driven generosity plans is a key part of their financial planning process. Start the conversation at findtruenorth.com. So many of our farms and ranches today that we're so grateful for are actually because of guys like this that were willing to make those great sacrifices in the war, the greatest generation, and come home and start what we just today may or may not take for granted, but to have that amazing peace because of guys that did that. And all of these monuments that are here, all of these statues depicting the different wars. So how did that GI Bill work, and why was that so amazing for what we are benefiting from today? It did in several ways. There were 6 ways that the GI Bill helped create what we know today as our farms and ranches, and that helped us experience what we have today because of what the returning soldiers were able to do after World War II. So the first way was through loans. There were guaranteed loans enabling lots of veterans to be able to buy the equipment that they needed. There was education. So if you came home from the war, the GI Bill allowed you to get actually a degree in agriculture, allowing veterans to really understand the science of farming or ranching. And that was also part of the GI Bill, was that they had access to that agricultural education. The third way was sustenance. So while they were learning, while they were in school, while they were working on ranches possibly, they were also getting a monthly subsistence allowance that allowed them to support their families and actually eat and feed themselves as they were going through this. And then they had many, many post-war opportunities. So the overall economic prosperity caused by the GI Bill also created demand for more food, more people needing what the farm could produce, more people needing the cattle, beef, and ranching, so the opportunities to do that were enormous. And then there were 2 more ways. The Federal Reclamation Project opened up over 2,600 farms on federal reclamation projects in the western U.S. Many of those turned into ranches. And that's where veterans had a preference right to apply for those. They were given preference over just the man that did not go serve in the war. And then lastly, skilled work. So veterans had gained management skills in the military, and many of them gained executive skills as they had climbed up in ranks during their military service. And they found out that farms and ranches were willing to hire them to manage them because they were able to display that kind of leadership skill. I pause as I look at all of these different statues depicting the different wars and the different lives that were impacted from that. And I am just amazed and humbled and grateful that we are able to experience beautiful places like Mountain Creek Ranch, the land of the free. Thank you guys for joining me for this Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch.